There are a lot of characters that have made only one appearance in Skibidi Toilet, and today we're going to be going over the most brain rot ones of them all. So let's dive in. First on this list is the elderly Skibidi Toilet, known as the grandpa who never stood a chance. This character had perhaps one of the briefest and most inconsequential careers in Skibidi history. Let's dive into the details. Yes, bro's got that grandpa riz. Prior to his transformation into a Skibidi Toilet, the elderly Skibidi Toilet was simply an ordinary old man, specifically the male 08 model. For those of you following along with Skibidi lore, he was enjoying a meal at a restaurant when out of nowhere he was served poop. Yes, that's right. In the Skibidi universe, poop apparently makes for a meal. What kind of restaurant even serves that? But before he had a chance to lodge a complaint with the manager, he was infected by a normal Skibidi Toilet and changed into the elderly Skibidi Toilet. Now you might assume that becoming a Skibidi Toilet would grant him some sort of advantage. Perhaps the strength of wisdom of age. Unfortunately, this was not the case. He was merely a weaker, slower variation of a usual Skibidi Toilet. The elderly Skibidi Toilet had a sleek design that resembled the G Toilet, but that was where the similarities ended. He lacked any unique skills, possessing only typical Skibidi abilities: biting, singing, and charging. Unfortunately, his singing was much left to be desired. His voice cracked more often than not, and his attempts at the Skibidi anthem sounded like a malfunctioning karaoke machine. Despite his flashy appearance, he was essentially a slower, weaker version of the standard Skibidi. His only notable feature was his age, making him the Skibidi equivalent of a grandpa trying to keep up with the younger crowd. Spoiler alert, he simply couldn't. His sole appearance was in episode 4, where he was spotted mingling with other Skibidi Toilets. However, before he could even attempt to showcase his skills, he was swiftly eliminated by the cameraman. There was no grand battle, no heroic last stand, just a quick flush, and he vanished. Farewell, Grandpa Toilet, you were present. Your legacy serves as a reminder that in the Skibidi universe, even the most forgettable characters can carve out a tiny, toilet-shaped niche in history. Next up, we have the Saint Skibidi Toilet, the sole religious figure in Skibidi history. This character was unpredictable, part scared, part sinister, and entirely chaotic. Bro took holy shit to another level. The Saint Skibidi Toilet made his single appearance in episode 10, whilst inside an impressive cathedral, conducting a choir of Skibidi Toilets. Yes, that's right, a choir of toilets. They were performing a heavenly remix of the Skibidi anthem, and for a brief moment, it felt like a serene, divine assembly. But we're talking about the Skibidi realm here. Serenity doesn't last long. The Saint Skibidi Toilet resembled a large Skibidi Toilet with a divine twist, a luminous yellow halo perched atop his head, giving him an almost angelic aura. His head was designed after the male 09 model, complete with a stem, priestly expression that exuded, "I'm holier than thou." However, don't let the halo fool you. This character had a dark side. His eyes could shift to a deep, menacing crimson when he became enraged, which, spoiler alert, happened quite quickly. One moment he was leading a choir of Skibidis in a heavenly rendition of the Skibidi anthem, and the next he transformed into a fierce demon, ready to devour anyone who dared to interrupt his sermon. The halo might have suggested that he was a peaceful, holy figure, but in reality, he was much more of a ticking time bomb of divine wrath. His transformation from saintly to savage was so sudden that it left everyone, cameramen and Skibidis alike, wondering if he had truly been holy to begin with. Perhaps the halo was just for show, or maybe he was just simply very skilled at concealing his inner chaos. As soon as the cameramen stormed to interrupt the celebration, the Saint Skibidi Toilet snapped, his eyes glowed red, his heavenly choir music stopped into a sinister melody. However, before he could claim another victim, the blue-suited cameraman and the brown-suited cameraman joined forces to stop him. They climbed onto him, activated their plungers, and sent him straight to hell. Moral of the story? Even exalted Skibidi Toilets are not immune to the flush. Whether you're a saint, a sinner, or something in between, the rules of the Skibidi universe apply to everyone. And in this case, the rules were simple. Don't bite off more than you can chew, literally. The Camo Skibidi Toilet was meant to be a military-grade, high-velocity warrior. However, his stint was even shorter than a TikTok trend. Camo Toilet Best Toilet. Designed with a camouflage and extraordinary speed, he was created for one purpose only: a one-toilet wrecking machine, the Skibidi equivalent of a stealthy, high-speed tank. In episode 18, he made his impressive debut, crushing a very large cameraman under its sheer momentum and steamrolling several Strider toilets. as if they were bowling pins. For a brief moment, it seemed invincible, a blur of chaos and destruction that left everyone wondering if this was the Skibidi Toilet's secret weapon. However, being one toilet wrecking machine only works until a bigger and more formidable opponent shows up. In the Skibidi universe, there's always someone bigger and badder. The Camo Skibidi Toilet's reign of terror lasted only a few seconds before Titan Speakerman entered the scene. In a move that was both humiliating and devastating, Titan Speakerman stomped it into the ground like a bug, providing that no matter how fast or sneaky you are never truly invincible. But then, Titan Speakerman arrived. In a moment that can only be described as completely humiliating, the camera toilet marked the cameraman's initial effort at creating an undercover operative. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well. Imagine getting blown up. Lumfow. Lol. The camera toilet's strategy was straightforward. Infiltrate Skibidi lands, act as one of them, and gather intelligence. It sounded like a solid plan on paper. The issue? His disguise was simply a cameraman donning a toilet on his head. Yet, not suspicious at all. It was the kind of disguise that made you wonder if the cameraman even tried. I mean, come on. A toilet on a cameraman's head? That's like wearing a fake mustache and thinking no one will recognize you. The Skibidi Toilets probably took one look at him and thought, is this guy for real? To make matters worse, the camera toilet didn't even try to blend in. He just sort of stood there, awkwardly shuffling around like a kid wearing a Halloween costume that's 2 sizes too big. Not surprisingly, the Skibidis recognized his disguise instantly before the camera toilet could even utter, guys, I think they're onto us. He was blown to smithereens. The camera toilet's failed mission serves as cautionary tale for all undercover operatives. If your disguise looks like it was put together in 5 minutes with duct tape and a prayer, maybe rethink your strategy. In the Skibidi universe, half-baked plans lead to fully flushed failures. But hey, at least he tried, right? His brief and disastrous career is a lesson for all aspiring undercover agents in the universe. If you don't want to get cooked, just don't wear a toilet on your head. Mission unsuccessful? We'll try again next time. Maybe with a better disguise. Or at least one that doesn't scream, flush me immediately. If Al Capone were a toilet, he would be the Mafia Skibidi Toilet. This character had flair, confidence, and a jetpack. But that wasn't sufficient enough to save him. Blood thinks he could defeat Titan Speakerman. The Mafia Skibidi Toilet first appeared in episode 25, and he certainly made an impression. Dressed in a sleek black fedora, carrying a mysterious suitcase, and equipped with a jetpack, he resembled a crime lord straight out of a 1920s gangster film. Imagine Al Capone, but with a toilet bowl for a body and a jetpack strapped to his back. He exuded swagger, confidence, and a commanding presence that suggested this guy means business. However, there's a catch. With the Mafia Skibidi Toilet, he was all style and no substance. While he looked impressive, he was surprisingly ineffective in combat, about as useful as a soggy paper towel. When Titan Speakerman arrived, the Mafia Skibidi Toilet attempted to use his jetpack. His jetpack allowed him to zip to the battlefield, but it didn't protect him from what was coming. However, Titan Speakerman was not going to let that happen. He swatted the Mafia Skibidi Toilet out of the air like a fly, leading to a face-first clash on the ground and resulted in an explosion. The legacy of the Mafia Skibidi Toilet serves as a reminder that no matter how high you soar, you can still be brought down. The Mafia Skibidi Toilet's brief moment of glory shows you that in the Skibidi universe, style points don't matter. Much when you're up against a Titan, still, you have to admit, he looked good while it lasted. But next up, we have another formidable force, the Flamethrower Skibidi Toilet. He had a single purpose, incinerate everything in its path. Yet his career ended in disaster, quite literally. Bro got them combine razor shoes. In episode 50, the Flamethrower Skibidi Toilet set ablaze several cameramen and was heading toward incinerating the cameraman's laboratory. With its relentless advance and its sights set on the cameraman laboratory, threatening to reduce it to ashes, the flames roared as destruction loomed, forcing the cameramen to scramble for a desperate counterattack. However, when enhanced Titan cameraman appeared on the scene, the Flamethrower Skibidi Toilet spewed flames, but Titan cameraman was resistant to fire. In a twist of fate, Titan cameraman incinerated the Flamethrower Toilet with a more powerful blaze. Let's just say things didn't go well for the Flamethrower Toilet. In a twist of poetic justice, Titan cameraman turned the tables and roasted him alive with an even more powerful blast of fire. Well, the legacy of him is that the Flamethrower Skibidi was too arrogant, and it serves as a fiery reminder that one should not toy with flames, especially when your opponent is literally fireproof. In the Skibidi universe, arrogance and overconfidence can lead to a fiery downfall, literally. Fitted with a jetpack and 2 buzzsaws, the Jetpack dual Buzzsaw Skibidi Toilet believed he was invincible. He was mistaken. I literally think Jetpack Skibidi Toilet is the cutest Skibidi Toilet. Jetpack dual Buzzsaw Skibidi Toilet is a fearsome and highly mobile variant of the Skibidi Toilets. Designed for maximum destruction, equipped with a powerful jetpack, it soars through the battlefield with incredible speed, making it difficult to target. Its most terrifying feature is that its pair of razor-sharp buzzsaws attached to its sides, ruthless and relentless. It excels in ambush tactics, striking from above before its enemies can react, leaving only chaos in its wake. In episode 47, the Jetpack Buzzsaw Skibidi Toilet made what he thought was a game-changing move. With his jetpack and buzzsaw spinning, he stealthily approached Titan TV Man from behind, catching the giant off guard. In a flash, he sliced through TV Man's speakers, rendering them useless. It seemed like the Skibidi Toilet had scored a major victory, a David and Goliath moment where he was the underdog who took down the Titan's most iconic feature. In a moment that can only be described as pure, unadulterated chaos, Titan TV Man slammed the Jetpack dual Buzzsaw Skibidi into the ground with such force that the poor guy exploded on impact. It was like watching a watermelon hit the pavement after being dropped from a skyscraper. Messy, dramatic, and oddly satisfying. The explosion sent pieces of the toilet, porcelain, and buzzsaw shrapnel flying in every direction, leaving nothing but a smouldering crater where the Jetpack dual Buzzsaw once stood. This moment serves as a stark reminder that in the Skibidi universe, no matter how flashy your weapons are or how high you can fly, there's always a Titan ready to bring you crashing down back to Earth. Despite its flashy jetpack and lethal buzzsaws, overconfidence ultimately led to a humiliating defeat. The explosive end of this flying toilet proves that sometimes the simplest solutions, like staying earthbound, are the most effective. In summary, we have explored the most forgettable and unfortunate Skibidi toilets in history. While some had their moments of appeal, they were ultimately short-lived. Others were marked by embarrassing failures. Few were so poorly received that they warranted complete removal. So if you wish to pay tribute to their brief existence, please like this post and share your thoughts on the forgotten Skibidi toilets you favored. Thank you for watching the video, guys. Go Skibidi!